All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.
And what's going on? You're here on a Sunday night, All About the Birds. Going to talk about the Eagles' Week 1 preseason matchup with the Ravens, 24-7 loss. There was a good bit of negative, but there is some positives to talk about, so definitely want to get into that. Figure to be good to kind of recap the game instead of talking before the game. Next week, there's a lot that, action-packed with the New England Patriots coming, so we'll get into that towards the end of the show, kind of what our shows are going to be lined up as this week rolls into play here. But hey, it was not a pretty game, but there were some positives when we look into it. I know you got a lot to break down, but you know what? I think the worst thing was the second watch. Like watching it, for me, watching it live, you find little things you can pick out of it. And then when you watch it again,
and you know what to look for,
with us sickos do. There were some negatives there.
There were, but I also, on the second watch, I actually felt a little bit better about some things, and we'll get into that too. But listen, it was not fun, and I see a lot of people are upset. Just a couple things to remember: the Detroit Lions went 4-0 in the preseason and wound up going 0-16 in the regular season. So it's not, and for whatever reason, Sirianni has not been very good in the preseason. I don't think we've ever really excelled in the preseason.
We don't play starters at all, so it's just nothing but backups.
But that's my second point is I think people get too caught up on, oh man, he looked really bad or the team looked really bad. And yes, the offense looked terrible, but specifically on defense, you got to think a majority of what we're looking at, or a majority of what the team is looking at, is individual contributions, right? It's not how did the second unit play? It's how is Willie Lampkin going to play if Cam Jurgen goes down? It's how is Mac McWilliams going to play if Q goes down? How is Tyler Robinson going to play if Moro Ojomo goes down? These are the conversations that we need to think about, and you need to take the context. I think it's important to take the context that these guys are not going to be playing in the regular season with a bunch of third stringers.
Yeah.
You're going to be putting these guys next to all pros, next to Pro Bowlers, next to seasoned vets who know what the defense is, what the offense is that can help them come along. So if Mac McWilliams has to go in the game, or Jeremiah Trotter Jr., he's not going to be playing next to Smile Mondin, right? He's going to be playing next to Zach Bond or Jahad Campbell. It's something to keep in context. Is yes, the team looked bad, but you need to look at some of the individual performances, and we'll get into some of that. Now, on the flip side, there were some pretty shitty individual performances.
Yeah, I would say there was some pretty bad. Now, I do think a couple things that were kind of interesting. One, Ty Robinson playing into the fourth quarter. I did see him out there. Now, that could be, as the defensive tackle depth, because you did have Belay. He was recently just signed, so he had hit that body. Gabe Hall didn't. That was another interesting thing. Actually, I have to say is I don't believe Gabe Hall played in the third and fourth quarter. So
he did. He played in the third quarter. He played in the third quarter.
Okay, because I saw Ty out there in the fourth, and I was interested. I'm like, okay, Ty's out there. Okay, because I know Uar Bernard. He's never played football before, so you can't really throw him out there for a ton. Kind of get his feet wet a little bit there. But seeing Ty out there that late was pretty interesting. But
I thought he played well.
I thought he did too. The other one I do want to say is Markel Bell is one huge human being. That is one that it's funny with him and Willie Lampkin are lined up next to each other.
It's hilarious. It's literally a foot.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, but no.
Bell. For those of you who don't know, Bell is almost 6'10", and Lampkin is maybe 5'10".
Yeah.
Like, so
if he's
it's
5'10",
pretty
he's
significant.
just over it.
With the
But I
cleats,
thought
he's
too.
5'10".
Yeah, I thought too. Like the quarterbacks, Dalton and McKee, did not look sharp really at all. They missing some passes. It didn't look very crisp. That's a little. No, I wouldn't say that's concerning, but those guys are fighting for number two job, because I think one of those guys are gone, because as we saw at the end of the game, they're not going to let Cole Payton go to waivers, especially with quarterback issues you're seeing in the NFL.
Yeah,
they're not going to subject him to waivers because he's getting claimed easily.
Dude, how fun was he though? So he's fun to watch, man. He's like
Tebow-esque.
He's Tebow mixed with like Carson Wentz. Like, he's not the athlete that Tebow was. But
no,
he's fast.
He's fun.
He's fast. He's fun. He's a lefty. Like, there were a couple times where I thought he was dead to rights. They were going to get him.
And then he scooted out of there.
Out like Carson Wentz. Like, it was. I mean, maybe it's the NDSU ties, but even the way he runs is kind of similar to Carson. Next time you watch him, he's got that like ice skate
that glide
stride
almost, right?
to him. It's almost like his legs go out further than his body. I don't know how to explain it, but watch it and you'll
I know what you mean there.
But he was fun, man. I had fun watching Cole.
The other thing, there wasn't too much on offense. The offensive line, Drew Kendall, like Markel Bell, Willie Lampkin, some of these guys.
Micah Morris.
To me, I think Micah Morris, like the offensive line was pretty decent. There were some holding calls, and you had that, which you're gonna have that with backups and just preseason. It's just you work out the kinks. Like it's just what you do. But
and the refs are in preseason mode too. Like let's remember that.
Yeah, of course. Eli Stowers gets the holding call at the beginning of the game, and of course that's that one was tough. I did think too was like the one, what was it, the pass interference on Ringo before he got the interception.
I thought it was
like there was very ticky-tack, because earlier I don't know if it was the drive previous or
it was
the Danny Gray play.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to call that, you call that. Like to me, that's where, as you said, the refs are in preseason mode. But to me, I thought that was interesting. And, Ringo made up for it and got the interception. But, Matt, I think we have to really look at the backup secondary and be like, is there a veteran you can add? Because like, I know Mac McWilliams has been showing, pretty good strides in training camp and everything that he's doing along the lines there. But Ringo is Ringo. He is what he is. Like, we know that already. Jacorian Bennett gets hurt earlier in the game. I don't think he returned.
He didn't.
You don't really have much of an. Like Sean Wade showed, his, determination getting back into the play and causing a forced fumble. A couple of these guys could be
a hell of a pass breakup too.
Yeah,
where it looked like it was going to be a contested catch. And he took it all the way to the ground and ripped it out of his hands. I was actually really impressed. I have it written down that Sean Wade made 2 or 3 plays that popped out at me, and I'm sure the coaches are thinking the same thing. Like, so he might be a nice practice squad guy.
I was going to say he could definitely be pushing the practice squad there. But no, the secondary is a little concerning. Of course, Michael Carter played. Marcus Epps did not play. Andre Sam, like, you don't have a whole heck of a lot. So that's where it's going to be interesting to see if they add a veteran. As the Dallas Cowboys just added Von Miller. They signed him. So you're going to have free agent signings. Let's see if there's any injuries that become worrisome from this game. You got to look into that as well. So all that come into play. Really, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is a menace on the field. It's great to see, because I do think that you're going to see him a lot on the field, kind of like you had with Jihad and Zach Bond. And hear me out. And I know you may have the same sentiment as I do, is Jeremiah Trotter and Jod Campbell. And I feel like what it's going to be is Zach Bond may have another year, maybe 2 at most, but maybe another year, and then you may see Jeremiah Trotter and Jahad Camel as the 2 linebackers.
Yeah. We've talked about that. I don't know if we did it on a pod, but we've talked about how the restructure of Bond makes it doable for the Eagles to get out of that contract in 2008. Actually, I think the contract ends in 2028 now. Or at least makes it doable. I forget which. But I 100% see a way, like a world where he walks, retires, goes off into the sunset, hopefully with another Lombardi, and then you have Jahad and Trotter as your starters for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
They'll have to extend him at that point, but I mean, I don't see how you could let him walk at this point, especially with Bond at the twilight of his career. But he looked awesome, man. He was everywhere. He's really, really good in the run game. I liked how they used him like Nakobe with
the blitzing.
Blitz.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of similarities. Even the build, right? Like he's got a similar build to Nakobe. He's a little bit bigger. But yeah, dude, I was really impressed with him. I was impressed with the linebackers as a whole.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get into it, like Trotter was really good. He had a sack. He had a QB hit. He had, I don't know, I think 5 tackles. Mondon and Lawson were fun as hell to watch. They look like the same dude. Like the way they move. Their build is the same.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Their build is the same. Their numbers are similar. They've both got the long hair coming out of the helmet. And I watched a couple plays to see how they play together, and it almost looked like they were duplicate copies. They moved at like almost the same exact pace. It was kind of wild. But the one I'm specifically thinking about is the Lawson play where he comes up and pops the running back on an outside zone pitch. I forget what it was, but he's the inside or the weak side linebacker, and they pitch it to the strong side towards the sideline. And Lawson does a good job meeting the lead blocker in the hole. And Lawson just does a great job of kind of navigating through the traffic and pops the running back. And I mean, it got like an audible "oh" from me when I was watching it. And that's the play where they both moved like synchronized swimmers, man. It was awesome. And the new guy, George, dude.
Yeah, Brandon George.
Dude, he came at like there were a couple plays where my father-in-law is a Giants fan, but he was watching it with me. He goes, "Who the hell's 45?" I mean, he played limited snaps, and he
very surprised he played. Not just on specials. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, the dude's obviously an athlete. I'd like to see him on the practice squad if you can, because he 6 tackles in a quarter.
How about the kick returner, Quez Watkins?
He's such a. We need him gone forever. Azukama looked good though, and we talked about that on a pod a couple weeks ago. What do you do at kick returner? I don't think there's a path for him to make it as the kick returner, because I think the wide receiver position is. I think he's kind of shit out of luck.
The wide receiver position is going to be very interesting. You know, you and I talked before the game,
but I don't think he's in that running.
No, he's not. But I'm just being in terms of looking at the wide receiver position as a whole.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Who do you keep? Especially when you look, it's so interesting taking a look and, you know, Johnny Wilson not playing, not suiting up. Does he have a spot? I know he brings something different because of his size and what they like to do. It's just very interesting to see what happens.
I hope someone asks a question about that, because I would assume it's injury related.
That's what I thought.
There was no indication about that, but you know, he had the knee injury. He just came back recently.
But my question is, has he been practicing? I haven't really. I don't remember seeing his name.
Been practicing.
So that's just an interesting one. Now, again, you know, we'll see as the joint practices come this week, and then of course the game, and you see exactly what goes on with that. But no, I just thought that was very interesting.
All right, let me get through a couple notes here that I have written down.
Go ahead.
We already talked about the young O-line. Lampkin, Bell, Morris. The three of them allowed 0 sacks on the night. I thought they looked incredible. I thought Lampkin especially. I mean, I know he's a fan favorite, but he held up. He was in on those double team blocks and getting to the second and third level expeditiously. He looked good at center and guard. I don't see a way, we talked about it before we came on. There's no way you can let him go. He's making a team. He's awesome. I loved watching him. And Bell, absolutely massive. But I thought he handled Mike Green pretty well. Baldy put up a couple clips of him going against the best edge rusher for the Ravens, and he handled his own. He handled the speed. He handled the power. I thought it was interesting to see Ojukwu get reps at left guard.
Yeah.
I don't know that I remember seeing him at guard outside of like Thursday's practice. So it was interesting to see him get reps there because I know they're high on him. I know they like him as a left tackle. Johnson hasn't been looking great. Didn't look great on during the game, and just had that altercation with Ojomo. I have this sneaky feeling that if they can find a trade partner for him, that they might capitalize, especially if Bell keeps on this trajectory.
And for like taking a look at it, especially if you can get, a 6th-round pick for him or whatever it may be, and you pocket that, and then if Ojukwu keeps showing you some promise, and Markel Bell is doing what he does, I wouldn't put it past them to explore that. Just, and you also have to realize too, like the offensive line coach is a different style, and I thought that was another thing that was interesting with Jordan Mailata. Was on an interview with the Dave Spadaro, and they believe they talked about he was on with the guys Ross and Scott Graham, and talked about like this scheme and the system, and then also talked about offensive line coach, and just like it's more of just line up and go. Like you don't have to think all the time. Like you could just line up with your guy and go. And I think too, like you're going to see, I think this is really going to benefit a guy like Saquon and the outside zone, and hitting that and going like
Tank's bred for that, dude.
Yeah. And
he doesn't want to dance. He just wants to hit it, dude.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And I think too, is Damian Pierce, I guess, dealing with, a little injury. So it's
Shipley looked good, dude.
But it's good for Shipley if that's the case. If he's going to be hurt, it's going to pave the way. And again, wouldn't be surprised if that leads to Shipley being the kick returner for you, which he can do. Not that
both of them are.
Yeah, but
so Shipley had at one point was 5 for 25. I mean, he was averaging 5 yards a clip. Granted, it's against second stringers, but he's playing with the second string.
Yeah,
I
hit a couple nice bursts.
I like Ship, man. I like Ship. I think he's good out of the backfield. He's had a couple of bad drops in camp, but like every time he gets the ball or is on, like every time he's around the ball, he makes a play. I mean, he forces fumbles on special teams. He had a couple really big ones in the Super Bowl run. He's a good kick returner. He adds spark. He's a good, strong runner up the middle. I mean, he broke 2 rushes for 71 yards.
Yeah.
In the NFC Championship. So I don't know. I like Ship.
Yeah, and I think this is going to help him as the way the roster goes, especially if
the guy get any run.
I think he did late in the game.
1 for 2. I'm surprised they didn't have him return kicks too, because he did that in Kansas City. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a shot there. Like why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why not?
I don't. Quez.
Yeah, well,
Quez sucks, dude.
That I know. It's just he's a UFL player at this point, and who else? There was. Well, there was I
thought Stowers blocked a lot better than I thought he was going to. All I see in practice is him working on blocking and not catching the ball. I'm hearing that he's quiet. And granted, it was garbage time, but he had a couple nice receptions. And I thought outside of the holding call, I thought he held his own pretty well in the blocking game. I mean, not like where I want him to be, but I thought he was better than I expected him to be.
But usually, like, first year tight ends, especially in Eagles history, like, I know Goddard and Ertz had 300 and 400 yards. Brent Selleck got 178 yards. Like, they're usually, and they have Goddard, so it's not like they don't have anybody. And Johnny Munt's going to be the blocking tight end. So,
and Latu,
and I think Latu, I feel like that's something that, we're going to see because he's such a special teams. Just like, it's crucial.
He's so good on special teams.
So, we'll see with that. But watching the edge rushers. I talked to you about Epinesa.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Ramirez flash. I know he's playing against backups. I get that. But Joshua Weru, he never played a snap.
Dude.
Same with Uwar Bernard. Dude. But it's Epinesa.
Weru, I don't know if it's because of the difference in the position, but I feel like Weru is ahead of Uwar at this point.
Yeah, and I think
which is understandable.
Listen, Uwar had a hell of a rep against Emory Jones, who was a top 100 draft pick. Yeah, which unfortunately he missed. Wasn't able to wrap up, but it was a good rep. And for someone that was his third, fourth snap in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be surprised if the two of them get Phantom IR.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that.
I don't know if you want to keep them on the 53 because they're not gonna do anything.
And if you cut them, somebody's gonna probably claim them.
Exactly. So I think they both get IR'd, but I really liked what I saw from both of them. Epineza's faster than I thought he'd be.
Yeah. And he's just got the aesthetic. Come on.
He's got the neck roll, baby. Hashtag neck roll.
He's got the aesthetic. So for him, that works, and for us, it works. It makes us.
I love it.
Want him on the team there.
I thought Blay was really surprising.
He did play somewhat pretty well too. Zion Wilson, I forgot he was also in there as well. Again, that's why it was very interesting to me that Ty was getting run when you had Zion Wilson, you had Blay, you had Uwar.
Well, I think they just want to give him reps. I don't think it's like a punishment.
Maybe.
I think he's already doing the developmental periods. I think they're giving him extra reps because they need him to get better. And I think he showed improvement.
He also did have that stupid penalty, the roughing the passer, which I know was a little ticky-tacky, but
it was not at all ticky-tacky, dude. That was 100%.
But again, you can't. That's not stuff you can be putting on. Dude, you can't be doing that.
I know.
It's not good.
I know. I'd also rather teach him how to dial it back than teach him how to be a bear. You know what I mean? Like, I thought Blay looked really good. He was playing he was making plays in the pass game. Like he was. There was one play where I think he made the tackle on a wide receiver screen.
He's definitely a player that I could definitely see them stash on the practice squad. Getting 1,000%. Him there, just definitely could see him.
6 tackles and a QB hit in a quarter of play, maybe.
Yeah. Did he get signed by somebody in minicamp, or he wasn't signed at all? That's what I was trying to.
He was with New England.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he was with New England.
Yeah.
They signed him so they can get, see what's going on with this practice now.
So I thought Pulley played really well.
Pulley. Yeah.
He looked pretty cool. He also has an incredible name. I thought Pulley played really well. He had 8 tackles. He was I feel like he was always around the ball. He almost got that fumble that Wade forced. I thought Gush played pretty well. He had a couple reps in the slot where he got toasted on a slot fade.
Yeah.
Luckily they didn't throw it his way, but I liked what I saw otherwise. I think he was not afraid to come up and lay a hit. I love that. I know Vic does too. I thought Mac got some. I don't want to say he struggled because I don't think he did. I think he played fairly well, considering he's not a natural nickel.
Yeah.
Right. He played a lot of nickel. I'd like to see them put him outside and see what he can do. Because I think that's where he excels. I think that's where we saw him excel at the Senior Bowl. I think that's where they thought he would play. I am a little disappointed with how he played in the nickel, but I don't want to say he got torched. Someone was coming at me yesterday on Twitter saying, "Oh, your boy's struggling." I'm like, shut up. He's playing with it, and that goes back to my point I said in the beginning of the show. Like, he's playing with second stringers, dude. He's not playing with Coop inside, and a fierce pass rush of Jalix Hunt and Jonathan Grenard and Jalen Carter, and like that makes a big difference when you're a corner.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them put him outside. Because he led the team in tackles with 11, which as a corner you should not.
It's
be
not
doing.
very good, but yeah,
it's not a good thing. But I'd like to see them put him outside. I'd like to see him rebound against New England. Like, I'd like to see how he responds to this. That's probably the person I'm going to be watching the most, because the questions we had coming into the postseason or into the offseason were depth on the interior offensive line. I think we got some pretty good answers to that this week. Depth on the interior defensive line. I think we got some pretty good answers there this week too. With Ty Robinson playing well, I think Byron Young is a pretty stout player there. So I'm not as concerned there. So I think your attention turns to the secondary, right? Like, who's your depth at outside and inside? Inside, I think they're set with Michael Carter, but like Jonathan Jones, you're going to rely on a 33-year-old outside corner to play, to hold up for an entire season. Maybe it'll be okay because he's not going to be playing as much. Or maybe you look for a guy like Kenny Moore, who's still out there for whatever reason.
I think that's something to keep an eye on, is see if they go ahead and either work out any players or whether or not they go the veteran route. We'll see. Because the thing is, you don't want to add someone too late into camp and preseason, essentially, because the learning curve and everything, especially a guy who's never played in this system. Yeah, it's something you're gonna want to at least have somebody in here to start to learn a little bit. But we'll see what they do
as your third or fourth corner.
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But like, you want to add them sooner rather than later. You want to add them right before the season, because then you get to that little bit of a learn. You got to learn a little bit. But no, it was all in all, it wasn't a pretty game. But there were some positives out of it. Next week we're going to be going on Friday night, because the Eagles will have the week, and of course they have the joint practices with the New England Patriots up in not Foxborough, up in New England, or wherever the hell they practice. And then, well, I don't. Maybe it's right outside.
Who knows?
But the other thing too is then Sunday we're probably gonna break down, because they play again on Saturday. So we're gonna break down the game like we did this. So we have 2 shows next week to give you all the insight and everything of the happenings with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Let me ask you one more question, Johnny.
Go ahead.
Who's your kick returner? Who's your punt returner?
All right. So kick returner is going to be Will Shipley.
You need 2.
Okay. Will Shipley and Tank Bigsby.
You want Bigsby back there again?
I don't want him to be back there.
Like 8 times back there last year.
Or how about this? Will Shipley, and then no. See, that's the tough part.
You see what I mean? Okay. No, so let's say we stick with just Shipley. Like whatever, that's fine. Who's your punt returner?
You know what?
This is my problem.
My thing is this.
Yeah.
It's going to be, they're going to have Britton Covey on the practice squad, and they're going to call him up for
which
the
is
first
fine
couple
for
games.
3 weeks. But then what?
Then we'll play it by ear.
You got to hope for an injury? Like, what the fuck?
Well,
sorry. But like, my other question is, and this is where I start to get into sicko mode. Like, who's playing gunner? Like, is Ringo? Yeah. Like, Ringo is borderline elite at gunner. Sidney Brown's not there anymore. The 2 of them were chaos incarnate on punt return, on punts.
Mm-hmm.
are you keeping Ringo strictly for special teams? And if so, who's your other gunner? These are conversations we got to have. And that's why I think a guy like Pulley or someone that can play gunner on special teams might be the guy. Someone like that. I'm interested to see what adjustments they make this week at gunner and return, because they tried everything at kick and punt returner.
Yeah.
Moore was back there. Quez Watkins, Ezekama.
It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Maybe
I know there's
Cole
not a
Payton.
ton.
Dude,
You'd
let
like
him
to be a
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I was going
Let
to say
him
you
be our
wanted to
Taysom
be
Hill, dude. I love it.
Taysom Hill, huh?
Why not?
Okay, so it's going to be something that I'm going to keep an eye on, because there isn't a ton of position battles. So there's just these little things that that are intriguing that we can look at and look for and see potentially what they're going to be doing. But
I think the last two positions are going to come down to gunner and returner.
Yeah, and again, those are absolutely crucial. So that is definitely something
I think
that we have to.
They are
same thing
unresolved right now. And
same thing with the long snapper.
Yeah, he had some interesting snaps.
All
this
right,
week.
so my thought on it is, I tried to watch it a little bit. Like the first punt, is it me or did it get to Brandon Mann really fast? Like no rotation. Okay, so that was a good.
You wanted to get there fast, but it was also a little low. Like he caught it at his thighs. You want it.
And again,
if up here.
My only issue with him is if he's thinking too much about the snap, that also can be really bad. So
1,000% agree.
That's something that you have to kind of keep an eye on. And the other thing I thought that kind of sucked was Jake Elliott didn't get any long field goals attempts because the offense was just so inept in moving the ball. So they didn't really do much of anything there. But it's something to keep it.
There are a couple teams. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
There were a couple teams that are carrying two long snappers right now. One of which is Denver, who has Luke Basso, who won the award for best long snapper last year. He reportedly had a really crummy snap that led to either a missed field goal or a blocked field goal this week in preseason. I don't know if there are better options out there. There's the Greek dude. Who's the guy that we had come in? Asamitis or whatever.
Cal Adamitis.
So
also, isn't Jacob Bobenmoyer?
He's
played with the Raiders.
He's a free agent. But Adamitis he's long snapper 2, I think, for the Bengals.
Oh, you may be right. Either is it Browns or Bengals?
One of those shitty teams. Adamitis. Green Bay.
Okay.
Is it Green Bay?
He was with the Bengals when we got him. He was released for the Bengals, and then we got him, and then so he's on Green Bay now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew this, but one of the cool things you can do on our lads is you can filter by position across all teams.
Oh, yeah.
You can look at every long snapper for all teams in one view, which I thought was incredible.
That's a hell of a I love our lads. It's one of the best.
Dude, I use it all the time. Yeah.
It's by far, one of the best.
I agree.
But with that,
I didn't mean to derail us.
No, you're good. No, it's all good. That's why we're here. We're here to talk birds. And, with that, we will be back next week and breaking it all down for you. Well, this week. Yeah, this week. It'll be this week in a couple hours. But with that, as we always end it, we always give you a very happy and a joyful Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Hey guys, it's Davo. Some people call me Davo Philly. I'm here with Big Dom. And check out All About the Birds. Go Birds.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Ian. Make sure you're following All About the Birds. I absolutely love their content.
Just wanted to give the guys over at All About the Birds a huge shout out.
Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds. Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, aka Fred X. It's all about the Birds.
All birds all the time. All birds all the